Hey, Seven Locks. Miss Hickman from the Media Center here. I'm here with my little guy, Stitch. Say hi, Stitch. And we are going to be reading a new early reader chapter book. It's called Marvel Superhero Adventures, Sand Trap. I'm going to be reading a couple chapters a day for you guys because it's a little bit longer book. And hopefully this will be in our media center when we get back to school. I'm going to start with a little bit of character development introduction. Okay? So, Spider-Man. Peter Parker was just a normal kid when he was bitten by a radioactive spider and became the amazing Spider-Man. He has super strength, can climb walls, and can jump incredible distances. Being the science-minded kid that he is, Peter also made his very own web shooters. Peter, because of the lesson his Uncle Ben taught him, with great power comes great responsibility. Squirrel-Girl. Doreen Green, better known as Squirrel-Girl, was born with extraordinary powers and a big bushy tail that looks like a squirrel's. She has super strength, quick reflexes, and is faster than a freaked out squirrel in a dog park. She can even talk to squirrels. For real. Squirrel-Girl protects New York City's central parks with the help of her furry friends, of course. Flint Marko was on the run from the police when he hid inside a nuclear reactor filled with radioactive sand. The toxic sand bonded to his body, and the Sandman was born. He can transform into any shape or size, which is useful when you want to rob a bank. The Sandman is a fearsome foe because you know how it is with sand. It just gets everywhere. Chapter 1. Peter Parker did not hear his Aunt May talking. He had been pouring the last of the milk into his cereal bowl when the morning news caught his attention. Commotion at the City Bank, 96th Street and the Columbus Avenue. Police cars are at the scene. Peter, Aunt May said again. She shook his shoulder. Did you hear a word I just said? Sorry, Aunt May, Peter replied. He looked away from the TV. Aunt May's arms were crossed. Uh-oh. Aunt May was the kindest person Peter knew. She had raised him since he was a little boy. She loved him as much as any parent could. Aunt May was friendly to everyone, and she always threw the ball back when the neighborhood kids lost it over her fence. When Aunt May wasn't smiling, something was wrong. Sorry for what? She asked. For paying more attention to the television than to your dearest aunt? Or for finishing the milk I asked you to save for my tea party? Peter looked at the Cheerios floating on the milk. Oops, he said. I forgot. Did you also forget that our neighbor Anna is bringing her niece over for tea later? She asked. Honestly, Peter, I think you might forget your own name if I didn't call it all the time. It was true that Peter Parker often forgot to do things his aunt asked, but it was not for the reason she thought. You see, Peter Parker had a lot on his mind. Peter had a secret. Looks like somebody wants to be part of our story time. Peter Parker was Spider-Man. And sometimes being Spider-Man made being Peter tough. He looked at his frowning aunt. I will not be Spider-Man today, he thought. Today, I'm just Peter Parker. Today, I will be the perfect host for Aunt May's tea party. I will cut the lawn, I will clean my room, I will not get distracted, and I will not disappear. Peter opened his mouth to say all this except the part about being Spider-Man. But before he could speak, the TV news anchor said something he could not ignore. There appears to be a man made of sand leaving the bank with bags full of money. And what do I see? Just like sand. Through our fingers, the Sandman has slipped past the police. He's headed for Central Park with patrol cars in pursuit. Can anyone stop this powdery plunder? Or will he bury our heads in the sand as he gets away? No. Chapter 2. I'll be back with the milk before you know it, Peter said. He stepped onto the sidewalk outside their house in Queens, New York. Just to the store, Peter. Aunt May warned from the front door. Please try not to be late for our guests. Peter gave his aunt a thumbs up. He turned the corner and was gone. It was a bright spring afternoon, perfect weather for going to the grocery store or for sailing through the air on spider webs. Woohoo! Spider-Man yelled as he swung between skyscrapers. The Sandman was last seen headed towards Central Park. I bet I can make it there in a New York minute. Spider-Man raced into Manhattan. He knew he must catch the Sandman quickly if he wanted to make his tea time. There was no question that Peter wanted to help Aunt May. He wanted to get the milk. He could swing by the grocery store on his way home. He even wanted to go to the tea party. Everyone likes a nice cup of Earl Grey, right? But after he was bitten by a radioactive spider and woke up with superpowers, Peter had learned that sometimes the tea parties had to wait. So it was for the webbed warriors. Spider-Man's heroics were always on demand. Still, having a superhero identity was not always easy. He could hardly tell his teachers that a green goblin ate his homework. Whenever Peter wondered if he should hang up his webs and leave crime fighting to the Avengers, the words of his late Uncle Ben helped him make the right choice. With great power comes great responsibility, Uncle Ben had told him. No matter what was happening in Peter Parker's world, Spider-Man would always answer a call for help. So I'm going to stop there today. I hope you enjoyed the first couple chapters of our book, and I'll be back tomorrow with our next 2 chapters. Have a great day, Seven Locks kids.